Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Omeed Dariani. I'm Senior Brand Manager for the EverQuest Franchise. I'm here with Dave Georgeson, who's the Director of Development for the EverQuest Franchise. We're going to talk to you today about all sorts of things. We're at E3. It's been a big week for us here. We launched the EverQuestNext.com website, so this is the first time that anyone has seen anything on this brand. We've also launched our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, our Google+, and of course Twitch TV, which is, I hope, where you're watching us right now. We'll be chatting about EQN today, but before we do that, I really want to get some juicy stuff out of Dave here, but I don't know if he's going to get it. That's my goal. I'm going to get you guys the stuff you're not supposed to know. His goal is to stop me. So
that'll be easy.
Yeah, it always is, right? So we'll be chatting about EQN in a little bit, but first we wanted to talk about EverQuest and EverQuest 2.
Yeah.
So EverQuest, let's talk EverQuest first because it came out first.
Sure.
So what's going on in EverQuest? What's happening next?
EverQuest has had a really cool year. We started out with the last expansion, Reign of Fear, and then we did Shadow of Fear, and now the next update that we're going to be doing is called Heart of Fear. And that's really exceptional because the lore of this whole series has been all about the death of Khazak-Thul, which was the god of fear, obviously, hence the names. So what the players have been doing is going through this whole saga, which is culminating in some really cool lore in this new game update, where basically there's a lot of people out there in the world that are essentially trying to harness the power of this dead god and essentially become the next god of fear. And the players get really messed up in all of that and have to end up going right into the Heart of Fear. And there's a lot of stuff there that I won't reveal, but there's obviously lots of quests and raids and things like that that will be sticking out there, as well as some really cool features that we'll be adding.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who spends a lot of time trying to harvest the power of dead gods, I'm really excited about this one.
Well, I mean, that's where all of our that's where we get all our power, right?
So can you talk a little bit about the features?
Yeah, of course. We have a bunch of stuff that's coming out, but some of the really cool stuff is like there's these class-specific weapons that are really, really good weapons that every player will want. And the way that you get them is by having participated in all the events and quests and stuff like that from the 3 chapters of Fear.
So you have to go through all 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you've already done it, then obviously when you finish the new Heart of Fear stuff, it'll unlock for you. But if you haven't done all those, then it's a really good reason to go back in and explore that content and be able to play through it so that you can then unlock your class-specific weapon.
Got it. So since you got a little bit of time before it comes out, maybe if you haven't completed all that content, it's a good time to get a head start.
Yeah, and another incentive is that there's these like really killer weapons that you can only get from raids, and basically what you have to do is you have to gather your class-specific weapon in order to be able to combine it with the weapon that you find in the raid to make this really super uber thing.
Oh, sweet. So like a Voltron sword.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's awesome. I think everyone's going to be super excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great gameplay, and I really, really like the lore and stuff that they've been putting together. Akil Hooper's the creative director over both games, and Jonathan Carricker is the lead designer. He's been doing fantastic stuff, and they've got a great content team.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the EQ content team.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty awesome what's going on.
Yeah, it's really good.
Let's change gears a little bit to EverQuest 2 and talk about what's going on there.
Yeah, sure. Well, the Ages End Prophecy saga has been going on for literally years in EverQuest 2. And the team made me swear that I wouldn't do spoilers. But I will say this much. There's some really cool stuff that they're doing in this GU, and it really sets up the expansion later on in the year. But essentially all I'm really allowed to say is that something really bad is going to happen in Cobalt Scar. And the players are going to want to go there. I've seen what happens, and it's, well, some of the coolest stuff we put in the game in a long time. And like I said, it really sets us up for this year's expansion, which we'll be talking about at SOE Live.
So something really bad, like they're going to open a Walmart?
Yeah. Oh, and a Starbucks.
Oh. Well, I mean, some people are going to think that's good, right?
No, the Starbucks is in the Walmart, so it's all one thing. Yeah.
That's a rough beat. So what else is going on in EQ2?
Obviously we've had alternate advancement points for a long time, and over time that has become an incredibly unwieldy system that's just huge.
Onerous,
yeah,
yes.
There's a lot to it. So like when people want to respec, or if somebody comes back to the game and they haven't played in a long time, they have to spend like 5,000 points. Okay, it's not 5,000, but it's actually 320 points across all these different trees and everything like that. And that takes a lot of investigation to be able to figure that out. Well, not everybody wants to do that work. So we're creating these things called character advancement templates, which are really, really slick. The design group did a really good job on this. And what it does is it allows you to kind of pre-select what you'd like your character to be able to be like. And it's a templatized thing so that you can basically just say, okay, spend my points that way. And then it'll start spending all the available points that you've earned up to that point, and it'll also show you where it will spend the points in the future. So if you only have a handful of points when you activate the template, you can set it up to either auto-spend for you or you can manually spend, but you can see the suggestions that will be made so that you can get to the end result that you really want. Like if you wanted to be, say, like a battle priest rather than a straight-up healer, you could select that appropriate template and be able to do it. You can also customize the templates, and you can save 3 of them on the server so that you can use them at any time on any computer, but you can save an infinite number of them to your local hard drive if you want to.
Nice. Yeah, I bet, well, considering how much goes into picking those skills, right? Like, I bet a lot of debate went into, okay, how do we make this build correctly?
Oh yeah, and we're not stupid. We're letting the players make a lot of decisions for us.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, I mean, the design group and that's part of the beta process and everything like that is we're getting feedback from people about what should be there. But we're also intentionally not setting up the Uber Raid version of the templates. What we're doing is we're setting up a general adventuring one and then letting players create the Uber Raid versions or the super specialist in certain so on, and they'll pass those templates back and forth to each other, and it'll be something that's fun to do. The people that like doing that kind of thing will go crazy with it.
Oh, yeah, the stats nerds.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love to do. And I know, like, the big thing for me is if I stop playing for, a couple months or something like that, and I come back to the game, and all my points have been kicked out, and I just don't know even where to start.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like I've just got this homework to do now.
Yeah.
And, I didn't come here to play. I didn't come here for homework, right? I need, like, a cheat sheet, right?
Exactly.
This is basically a cheat sheet.
Yeah, and we've had millions of people play these games. When they occasionally come back. They wander off into the world and they play somebody else's game. Yeah, they always come back.
They always come back.
They do, and they keep coming back. And then when they come back, things have changed. And what we want to do is make it easy for them to get into the game and remember what the real fun of it is and go on that way, as well as just making a cool feature. And then in addition, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? I got a couple of things to talk about.
Fabled Dungeons,
yeah.
it says.
Yeah, Fabled Dungeons are really cool. I mean, really, what a Fabled Dungeon is when people get up to level 95, they're at the end cap, and then there's basically a certain amount of content that's out there. What we're going to do with Fabled Dungeons is essentially up-level a bunch of the beloved dungeons that have been left behind, so that players can play them at the high end of the game, just so that there's a wider variety of content for them to experiment with and have a good time with.
Oh, that's so awesome. I mean, that's one of the things that always kills me, right? You only get to do them so much before you're leveled out of the range.
Right.
Now we're going to be able to go back and run through those dungeons again.
Yeah.
That sounds
And then the other
sweet.
thing is for the people that really like the avatar battles. Mm-hmm. We have these overland battles. They're contested dungeons where you're fighting the avatars of the gods. And one of the things that we found out is, some guilds are really good at taking those guys down, and it doesn't really leave a lot of opportunities for other people to play that game. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this arena of the gods. And what that means is it's essentially a private little instance where your guild can go to it and play against that avatar like you would have out in the world in the contested situation. But you can do it privately, and you can kind of train your group to be able to defeat it. There are still rewards for doing it. They're not as cool as the contested version, but you still get really worthwhile items that are good to get. So you're going to want to do that, but the essence is to essentially be able to practice and get your group together so that they're really good at it. And then when you go out into the world and you start competing with these other mega guilds and stuff like that, everybody's got a fighting chance to be the team that takes it down.
Yeah, I mean, like the worst thing, right, is wiping. But what's even worse than that is when your guild wipes in front of everyone. So awkward.
Yeah, so it should be really fun. I think the players will really like it, as well as the stuff that we're doing lore-wise and content-wise, the quests and the raids and stuff like that we have.
That's excellent. So one other thing, too, with EverQuest, right, we're starting to bring it into the same sort of content schedule that we're doing with EverQuest 2 right now with the GUs, right?
Yeah, and that has been really well received by the players. We've only recently done that since the last expansion, and in fact, that's why we've been able to tell this saga of fear for the EQ players, is because we have these staged content releases. And, well, I hope that they like it, because I think it's doing wonderful things for the game, and it seems to be working well, because the numbers show it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the bottom line there, right, is more content.
Yeah.
And that's what people want. That's what we want to give them.
Yeah.
So I think the next question that everyone's going to have is, what can we expect to see for EverQuest and EverQuest 2 at SOE Live?
Oh, well, we're going to unveil the expansions. That'll be the big thing. So this year, well, I can't unveil those, can I?
Yeah. Well, the name is... Oh, sorry,
yeah, the name is... but, I mean, obviously, we're wrapping up. EQ2 is moving towards this huge culminating event for the Ages in Prophecy. And then, of course, EverQuest has something on schedule for after the Heart of Fear stuff.
Yeah.
So we get to tell some new stories and stuff.
Is it going to be Blank of Fear?
Blank of Fear. No, it's not going to have fear in the title.
Oh, that's good.
No more purple crystals.
No more purple crystals for you. So, I mean, I think one of the important things to see, one of the reasons that I asked you about that is really talking about how important the franchise is. And I know we're making a lot of hay about EverQuest Next, and we're going to show EverQuest Next for the first time at SOE Live, and that's a big deal. Frankly, it's a huge deal for our company. But at the same time, we're not in any way leaving EverQuest and EverQuest 2 behind. We're bringing them, we're actually starting to talk about it so much more as a franchise than as individual games, because we're starting to see them as one big thing.
Oh, wait till you see what we're doing with the expansions. EverQuest and EverQuest 2 are starting to become more and more integrated, and it's exciting. It's really cool.
I think we're starting to say too much. But
I'll shut up.
So we actually have a video. We wanted to play a video briefly showing the EverQuest franchise and kind of how big it is and that sort of thing, while we bring up the EQN guys, so you don't see them run in front of the camera. So can we play that? Holy crap,
Hey,
there's
look
so
at
many
that.
more people up here.
It's like magic.
Surprise.
So we brought on a few of the members of the EverQuest Next team, and for some of these guys, like, no kidding, this is the first time they've seen the light of day in like 2 years. we keep them and we call it the black box, right? Yeah, look how pale they are. Except Jeff. Jeff looks pretty good down there, tan and spry. So anyway, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and introduce you to the guys. Dave, you already know. We all know him. This is Terry Michaels. Terry, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, I'm a senior producer on EverQuest Next, and as a senior producer, I'm the guy who makes sure that everybody else has what they need to get their job done. I'm kind of the guy who keeps the boat moving in the right direction and make sure everybody keeps their hands and feet inside the ride when it's going.
Yeah, well, we don't want anyone to get their hands cut off, right?
No.
Along with a gentle cattle prod occasionally.
Well, yeah. Only when necessary, though, and we've got a great team.
It's a gentle cattle prod, though. That's the important thing.
Very low voltage.
So next up is Darren McPherson. Darren, will you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'm Darren McPherson. I'm the lead designer of the game. So we take all the design ideas, all the brainstorming, all the fun stuff, and we make it into a game.
So you
I have a great team that I work with, and I work with art, we work with engineering, and I work with a microphone sometimes.
Just as an important note, the microphones don't work super great, so you basically have to eat them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is not too loud.
No, that's
Okay,
perfect.
I'll turn on my Barry White voice here
Yeah.
in a minute. We'll go lay low.
Sing to
Yeah,
us, baby.
don't save it for tonight.
Oh, okay.
Tonight everyone goes and karaoke's, and apparently it's a huge disaster. But we can bring that disaster here, right now.
Count us in.
So Darren is the guy who takes all the fun ideas and then turns them into spreadsheets.
Yes, yes. No. If it's not datafied, it's not fun.
If you can't distill the fun, it's not real.
Exactly.
So up next we have Rosie Rappaport. Rosie, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm the art director on EQ Next. I'm responsible for developing the art style and the art production.
So nothing that's designed, anything that's drawn, illustrated, put into CG, that's all you.
It all goes past my eyes.
Yeah. So we got to make Rosie happy all the time.
Absolutely.
It's a constant problem.
Last but certainly least is Mr. Jeff Butler.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Butler. I'm the creative director on EverQuest Next. I came in about 2 years ago to oversee the redesign of the game, the most recent redesign. I'm kind of responsible for the quality of what goes into the game, overlooking the big picture, make sure everything fits together elegantly and comes out as a nice cohesive whole.
Excellent. So I think it's important to note that we have these folks up here, but there are many, many talented artists, designers, programmers working on this team.
Yeah.
And they couldn't all be here at E3 because someone has to do the work. It's not going to be these guys. So they're back at work, and I heard you guys aren't getting a lot of emails from them. So hopefully they're back at work working. Maybe not.
You'd be surprised how many of them are right here in the show, checking out everybody else's games.
Yep.
Hey, and just to be fair, Omeed, there are also production staff that are working very hard on this game as well.
Oh, you're not doing it all yourself?
No, it's not just me and Dave.
That's weird because you've been telling me that for a while.
Well, it was true up until recently.
Well, I think one thing that's pretty important too is that we do have a good team of writers, designers, programmers, that sort of thing, but we are desperately looking for some solid rock star programmers. Dave, you want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, really the only lead that's not up here with us right now is Steve Klug, who's the lead programmer for the team, and he's fantastic, and he's been assembling this great programming team, and I mean, it's world class. It's really, really good, talented people, but we don't have enough. I mean, this is a gigantic project, and we're currently looking and actively looking for especially generalist game programmers and graphics programmers. We have a few slots still to fill in both of those areas, but we need really, really, really quality people.
Absolutely. And I mean, I don't think Dave is in any way kidding when he says this is a dream project.
Yeah, it is.
And this is going to be super, super awesome. So
August 2nd, baby.
If you're a rockstar programmer who's just wandering around E3, looking for something to do, why don't you hop over to the SOE booth and introduce yourself and drop off a card? We would love to talk to you.
You want this gig. You really want this gig.
It's a very exciting project.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the design philosophy of EverQuest Next. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have, first and foremost, the game should be fun. I know that sounds weird, but even behind all the numbers, we want the game to be fun.
One of the first filters we run everything through from a design standpoint is how fun the game's going to be, how fun that individual system is going to be. Like Darren said, as funny as it sounds.
And one of the other things that we really want to do is we want to make sure that what we're delivering is something that's new to...
Please,
thank you.
Please eat your mic.
Sorry, let me put that a little closer. We want to make a game that you can't get anywhere else. We're trying to make something different, not just another version of the games we've made in the past.
If you think back to EverQuest, EverQuest delivered a number of features to the market that you really couldn't find anywhere else at that time. As a gamer, it gave me no choice. I knew what I was doing when EverQuest was going to be released. I was going to be playing that game. And that's the same exact intent that we had when we sat down to redesign EverQuest.
So absolutely, Jeff, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it kill you to not be able to tell people everything you know right now?
47.
9. Easily a 9.
A solid 9.
Easily a 9.
Yeah.
Terry, was that 47?
I believe it's 47.
Jeff doesn't like people, so that's why it's a 9. It's probably a 30, 35 for me.
Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely how I feel.
I'm really looking forward to the SOE Live.
Yeah.
To talk to everyone.
It'll be
SOE
great to
Live,
be able to talk
August
about it.
2nd, Las Vegas, Planet Hollywood. It's going to be awesome for so many reasons, but this is one of them. Can you guys talk a little bit about SOE Live and what you like about it? Have you guys been?
I haven't been to SOE Live for years, actually. I remember the original fanfares back when EverQuest first launched, when we were like 200 people standing out in the field around barbecue grills and 12-packs. So this is really the culmination of what we started 13 years ago.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I go to SOE Live a lot. One of the things I like is basically we always work real hard to reveal stuff at the show. And it's always fun to show the new expansions and the features that are coming out and everything like that. And that has been really successful in the past years. But this year is going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, too, because we could have revealed EverQuest Next here at E3.
Easily.
I mean, it's a huge show. You know, obviously there's huge announcements here, but we made a very conscious decision to do it at SOE Live, to be with our fans, because we wanted our fans to see it first.
They should see it first, absolutely.
It's one of the best things about the SOE Live. Hanging out with the fans is one thing, but we're actually part of a community with our fans, right? We come from playing our own games, right? So, you know, meeting our guild mates, meeting people that we hung out with online for years is, you know, one of my favorite things about SOE Live.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful, beautiful segue into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is a promotion that we're running called My EQ Story. And I don't want to talk about it too much because we're going to bring up a special guest from Curse.com to talk about it in more detail. But it's really just getting to the heart of how big EverQuest is, how much it's impacted people's lives. As Jeff said, almost everyone who works at SOE has some connection to this game. At the very, very least, it's paying our salaries, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, all these guys have recorded their stories, and we have them posted at EverQuestNext.com. And we wanted to go ahead. First, I wanted to thank all you guys for showing up. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking the time. We wanted to go ahead and show you one of the videos that was made for My EQ Story.
That's cool.
SOE Live is just around the corner in August, and since Sony's gearing up for the reveal of EQ Next, we want to take a moment and reflect on the games that built up to this. Oh, and we also want to fly you to Las Vegas for SOE Live. Record a video of yourself talking about your favorite memory of playing either EQ or EQ2. This could be an experience inside the game or a memorable moment in real life playing with your guild friends. We want to know how EverQuest has had an effect on you over the years. It could be funny or serious, whatever you want, as long as it's between 30 seconds and 3 minutes long. Now, if you're not sure how to begin, here's an example video entry. One of the things that I most loved about the original EverQuest was just the sense of adventure and exploring the unknown that existed in the world. In today's MMOs, traveling from one place to another is just kind of an afterthought rather than a journey. Whereas by contrast, I still remember the first time I left my home continent of Fabor and traveled across the ocean to the totally foreign continent of Antonica. I was a low-level wood elf, and I was in the Butcher Block Mountains fighting various wildlife and helping out the dwarves, when a friend recommended that I go to the bazaar to buy some new equipment. Unfortunately, that was all the way in the Eastern Commonlands, which is an ocean away from the Butcher Block Mountains. So what I thought was going to be an uneventful trip across the ocean quickly turned into an adventure of its own when first the boat made a small stop at a small island. And while I was exploring that island, I kind of lost track of time, ended up missing the boat departing from the docks, so I was stuck in the middle of the ocean on a tiny island with only a vague idea of how long it might be until the next boat would come along. So I decided to, I guess, make the most of my time by exploring some of the other islands I could see in the distance. Unfortunately, this island happened to be home to a large Cyclops who did appreciate my presence. So after I narrowly escaped that and I made it back to the tiny island, I was ecstatic to see a boat waiting at the docks. I hopped on just in time for its departure, and then after only a few other wrong turns and dead ends, I finally made it to the fabled Eastern Commonlands and the bazaar. So what began as a seemingly simple trip from one place to another became an adventure in its own right. And even after 13 years and countless other games, very few experiences compare to that little adventure across the ocean. Who was that girl? She looks so familiar. Anyway, once you've recorded the video, go ahead and post it in the official contest entry thread on the Curse forums, which we'll link in the video description, and we'll choose a winner once the contest is over. The winner will receive an all-expenses-paid trip for two to SOE Live in Las Vegas, August 1st through 4th. Thanks for watching, enjoy the game.
And we're back. We've replaced several of the EQN people with Mr. Donovan Duncan.
Hello.
Donovan is the Vice President of Marketing at Curse. Curse was kind enough to provide that video for us. So Donovan is probably on one of the shortest, most envied, most coveted lists in the world right now. You guys know what list that is, right?
I know what list it is.
He's one of the only people in the world outside of SOE who's seen EverQuest Next.
Yep.
And Donovan, without giving anything away, what did you think?
You guys made it tough on me. I had your head of PR pull me aside beforehand and say, here's a list of everything you can't say. But what I can say is, you guys were great. You had us down. Last month. I got a sneak peek at the game, and it's, we want to support games we believe in, and I can get behind this title. It looks fantastic. It's something that I'm, as a gamer who's been playing MMOs and games for 15 years now, really excited to play when it comes out.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, for the folks who don't know Curse, maybe you can talk a little bit about what Curse is and what it does, and explain why we're so confident and why we wanted to work with you guys.
Sure, yeah. Of course, Curse creates fan sites for all the major online games. We've been around now for many years. We cover World of Warcraft, Minecraft. We've got websites for, again, every single major game that's out there. Where you guys right now, we're very excited to be coming in and working with Sony on something like this. It's kind of a project that we haven't been able to necessarily work with you guys in the past on some of the bigger games because we weren't around, when some of your big titles came out. So this is a game that, again, you guys and us are working hand in hand early on. We're going to be able to create really cool features from the get-go, from the start. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things is Curse is just sort of an irreplaceable destination for serious gamers. Like, once you hit that level where you understand that you could be better at a game, that's when Curse becomes super, super valuable to you. And I mean, that's how I found Curse. I found out that I sucked at some games, and they were the guys who juiced me up and made me good and showed me exactly how you could do this stuff.
Omeed?
Yes.
Some games, really?
Some games.
Some.
Yes.
So there are some good ones you're good at?
He's okay at Clash of Clans.
I didn't say good. Let's not go nuts. But I was okay at pinball once. Yeah, and Donovan and I are actually in the same Clash of Clans clan and kicking some ass.
We share troops all the time.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think one of the things that's really important, and you said that the level of confidence is high because EQNextFans.com, I got the URL right.
Yes, you did. Yep.
EQNextFans.com has launched. It actually beat our launch by, I think, a day for EverQuestNext.com.
Cool. I'm glad.
And
makes my job easier.
And it's a great site. So we actually are running this contest so that people can, one person will get to come to SOE Live, win a trip to SOE Live through this contest, and we're hosting it on EQNextFans.com. Donovan, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah. So basically, what we've done is we've worked with you guys. We want to send a couple fans to SOE Live. Curse, of course, will be there. We're going to bring our video team. We're going to bring 15 or 20 people from Curse. It's a big deal. We go every year, and we thought this was a really cool way to work with you guys and share that experience with some of your most hardcore fans. So what we're asking people to do is, come together, get on YouTube, share their story, talk about some of the experiences they've had in the past playing your games. I mean, heartbreaking moments, exciting moments, all the cool stuff that really made some of these games fantastic and life-changing and an experience for these people. We want to share that. We want to tell other people, about those experiences. And so, at Curse, we've got a lot of people that started out in EverQuest back in the day, and we're making videos. You guys have made videos, and we're excited to see them. And people are posting like crazy. So enter to win, I guess. Enter your video.
And I think it's great too because I mean, one of the things we're doing is so there are some videos from our internal staff because when we were talking about this promotion, people rushed to share their stories. People had to tell us their stories. One guy won a car because of EverQuest. One of our producers, Todd Carson, what did he do? He bought the internet. He didn't have internet before EverQuest came out, and he was like, oh, this game takes internet? Okay, I'll get internet. One internet, please. And so, I mean, it's that kind of thing. And I think for all of us, it's had such a profound influence on our lives. And so this is not just submitting to a contest. What we're doing with these, we're going to put them, they're going to be on EQNextFans.com, they're going to be on EverQuestNext.com, and we're going to pick winners. And we're actually going to use some of these videos at SOE Live to showcase what an important part of our community is. We actually have a few of the videos right now, so we're going to play a couple samples so you guys can see.
Cool.
The person who inspired me most in my EverQuest experience was the lovely lady next to me, who I was hopelessly in love with as an 11-year-old, with the Shadows of Lukeland box.
I died and I came back to life. Were you happy?
So happy. And my Vashir was as well.
Wow, well.
And,
Thank you.
And the day I got my Epic 2.0, I went out, got a banana split.
A banana split. I love banana splits.
I remember the glory days of having physical, actual maps laid out across my desk. You had to read quests to do them. Kids don't know how good they have it these
I
days.
know, right? It's terrible.
Then again, I'm in a small room with the dream love of my 11-year-old life, so.
Bye.
So my dad worked for the government, and that meant moving around quite a bit when I was younger. And it was EverQuest that let me make friends that I didn't have to lose every couple years when we uprooted and moved to a whole new place. And I still remember almost every experience from EverQuest, ranging from my first trying to get to the halfling city from Freeport, or trying to get my wood elf druid across the world to get to a better starting zone. And I still remember dying halfway and losing all my stuff, and all the friendly people that would gather around and give me invisibility and spirit of the wolf and allow me to find my corpse. But I think my best memory from EQ had to be the first time that I went on a dragon raid to kill Lord Nagafin. And I still remember running into the wall aimlessly because dragon fear and nobody understood the mechanics or resistances, and it was just a very fun experience. And I actually still remember the item I got from that, which was the Hierophant staff. And I even remember the name of the raid leader. His name was Beld. And the people and places that I experienced in EverQuest, they'll always be with me because they're a part of my childhood and a part of what I grew up with. But it was an exciting experience and probably something I'll never forget.
So, what keeps you on playing EverQuest?
Well, I gotta say, it really involves the AA experience. But most of all, it's gonna be the people that I get to play with. Every day, all the time, I get to join people that I understand and I meet in the world. And I get to adventure forever. It's basically a forever quest.
Sweet. You're so sweet.
So basically, I got to take the sweetness in the real world of EverQuest because that's my real world.
Well, thank you for your thoughtful, truthful answer. That's probably the most genuine answer we've gotten today.
All right. So basically,
me.
And you, of course,
Duh.
and this lovely, beautiful woman here.
Wow. So what's funny is, so we have Furiona. We have an actress playing. It's not really Furiona. It's an actress playing.
What?
Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy.
Ah.
Also, something about Santa Claus. Cover your children. But no, we have an actress out there playing Furiona and telling people about the booth that you just saw, where you can come in if you're at E3 and tell us your story like that. And she's been so great. She's actually like jumping in the booth. You know, she'll jump in the booth with you. But it's just
it's on camera. Behave.
Yeah. I suggested we charge, but I was shot down. But if you're here, absolutely come by the SOE booth and record your story. Tell us what EverQuest has meant to you, because we would love to hear that. So if you're doing it on the web, then can you tell us a little bit about the procedure and what people should be doing?
Sure. So everybody's uploading to YouTube. You take your YouTube link, you put it on the forum. We've set up a forum where people are able to submit their entries. Again, the intent here is we want to share it with the world. We want as many eyes on these as possible. Then at the end of the contest, we're going to go through it with SOE staff, us, look at them, compare and contrast a lot of the stories, see which ones are the best, and then award the winner.
Absolutely. And if you put the hashtag #MyEQStory in the title of the YouTube video, then we'll see it. We'll get it for the website very, very quickly. So please make sure you do that as well. So I want to go back to something that you said, Donovan, about how you guys bring, like 10 or 15 people. You guys have been coming to SOE Live pretty much forever.
Yeah, long time. I mean, it's one of those events where, Curse is a media company. We create websites. We don't necessarily throw, conventions, right? And so we're always looking for ways and places we can go to interact with our fans and meet the community, the people that come to our websites and the people that, we kind of cater to. So, personally as a fanboy and about half of our development team also, plays like crazy. We come every year. We spend a couple days in Vegas, stay a day after, of course.
Sure.
And, interact with you guys. The pool party is always insane. There's some really cool announcements every year. And so we kind of made it like a company outing for us. We meet people, we interact with fans, and then we get to go to all the different sessions and things that you guys put on and check it out while we're there.
Oh, that's awesome. For the people who haven't been to SOE Live, because I know there's one or two of you out there, can you guys just talk a little bit about what SOE Live is like?
Yeah, sure. Terry, you wanted to say something.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of it, but one of the best parts about SOE Live is the fact that we get to interact with our players on a level that we can't any other time of the year. You know, getting there, spending days with them, getting to sit down and have lunch, talk to them as people, you know, find out what they like, what they don't like. You get a perspective on the things you work on every day that you can't get any other way.
Absolutely. We read the forums, but the forums are no substitute for actually looking a guy in the eye and telling him why his game sucks.
Yeah.
And the show is becoming more and more of a three-ring circus all the time. We're starting to run like all kinds of crazy events and contests, and we have a really cool thing that you're working on right now.
Yes,
It'll be revealed later, but it's awesome. It is really, really cool.
It is.
And so, like, it's awesome that we're like, revealing stuff to the players and listening to them on one-on-one and getting feedback from that way, and they're actually meeting us and realizing that we're people too, which is also cool. But like I said, yeah, all those contests and events and everything that are going on is just it's getting better and better every year.
Yeah, it was amazing. Last year was my first SOE Live, and it was just wonderful for me walking around, watching Matt Higbee just in a spirited argument with some guy that I've never seen before. And it was a 30, 45-minute conversation just kind of happening in the corner of my eye. Like, holy crap, like, where else do you get that opportunity to go up to the creative director, to go up to the director of development, to go up to even the junior game designers and say, hey, what about this thing? Hey, aren't you going to do this? Like, would you put this in EverQuest Next?
Yeah. Well, and also we didn't talk about it, but we also have panels throughout the entire the whole time at SOE Live, where players get to sit there and talk to the devs and get information about the games, and they can ask their questions of a group of people so that they can get the answers that they've always wanted to have. Sometimes it's not the one that they wanted to get, but they get the answer to the questions they have.
Yeah.
Can I have everything right now? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, we can't do that.
And so thanks so much, and we really hope you guys will join us for SOE Live. In the meantime, if you want to get either of these guys directly, if you go to EverQuestNext.com, we have their Twitter feeds and the feeds of everyone that were up on the stage today. So you can follow them, you can tweet directly, you can ask them the tough questions like, when is EQN going to come out? When can I have it? Where are my toys? That sort of thing, as well as saying, telling them what you want to see in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the things that's really important that we're doing with EverQuest Next is we're trying to work directly with the fans. We're asking people what they want. We want you to tell us what you want to see in the game. And this is sort of the first step of that, is by opening up these guys' Twitter feeds so that you guys can interact with them directly.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Donovan, for joining me up here. We're going to wrap up with a video of SOE Live, what to expect from that. And then there's just one more thing. And I know you love saying things like that.
True.
So just one more thing after that, which is a celebrity EQ story that we recorded yesterday with Jace Hall, Adrian Curry, and one special guest. And I won't tell you who that is until you watch this video. Man, I love that screaming guy. I love him so much. He's actually here at E3. He came to our booth and screamed something, but I don't know what. Anyway, all of my guests have departed. They had better places to be, unfortunately. So we'll be back again today at 5 o'clock with Jason Adrian for the wrap-up for today's show. And then we'll be broadcasting again starting tomorrow at 10:30. Now we're going to play this video with Adrian Curry, Jace Hall, and one mystery guest who you may recognize from That 70s Show.
There was dragons in there. There were dragons. Right.
But remember, I was scared. The problem was at the time we didn't know how to install it.
No, yeah, and I had trouble with the unnecessarily big trees.
And of course, when the game came out, Christian wasn't born.
He was.
That's awkward for him.
But I told Wilmer it's not a DOS program, so it was like he kept trying to install it on his 486.
And we were all drunk, except Jace, who doesn't drink. He was our designated player, so
yeah. So I was using the mouse and stuff.
Sony.